Amy, I hope you can do something about the food. It's not very good. What do you mean it's not very good? I'd like you to make me better bread. And they sell better oven to bake bread nowadays. Fine then. I will tell the housekeeper, Emanuela, about this. I am Amy Anderson, and I'm 35 years old. I am currently a full-time FX trader at home. I met my husband Eric, who is 2 years older than me, at my previous work. First time, when we met, we were working for a small mail order company. My husband was in the pet food department and I was in the cosmetics department, answering the phone calls from customers. Our company habitually flouts labor regulations, so we worked overtime every day and almost always got home the next day. We always looked forward to going out for a drink once a week after overtime with some of the same group of coworkers. Back then, when we worked overtime every day, we had nothing to look forward to, even though we had a high salary due to many overtime. We had no time to spend, and the only thing we looked forward to was going out for drinks to relieve our unfulfilled feelings. I started dating my husband, who was a member of that group, and we got married 3 years ago. I quit my job when I got married and stayed at home for a while, but then started looking for a job I could do at home. I came across FX, bought a lot of books about it, gathered a lot of information on the internet, studied a lot, and started FX trading. And here I am today. Of course, it took me some time and it was not easy to earn money as I do now at the beginning. I bought my computer specifically for FX trading, opened a trading account, studied FX trading for several months and repeated demo trades for practice and traded with small amounts at first. I managed to develop my own style of trading FX and started earning consistently while continuing to study FX trading for a long time after that. However, my parents-in-law, Nicholas and Julia, who lived with me, didn't understand my work. Last year, Nicholas, my father-in-law, retired. Nicholas and Julia were living in municipal housing, but my husband invited them to live with us in our 3-bedroom apartment because Eric thought it would be difficult to live on their pension alone. I pay the rent for the apartment we live in. We were able to make a living thanks to my husband's salary from his work when I started FX trading. However, I have been paying the rent and all of the living expenses ever since I started earning money through FX trading. Dad, Mom, Amy will take care of the living expenses too, so feel free to do whatever you like. Thank you, Amy. That is very kind of you, Amy. And that is how I started living with Eric's parents. I don't do any of the housework myself. My housekeeper, Emanuela, does all of the housework for me. Emanuela is a great cook and does all of the other household chores perfectly, which has been a great help and support for me. Since I don't spend time on household chores, I was able to spend more time studying FX trading and blogging about how to make money with FX trading. However, Nicholas and Julia does not like this fact. When Nicholas and Julia first moved into our apartment, they were very polite and thankful. But after 2 months of staying, they started asking me, what's the point of having a wife who stays at home and doesn't even do any of the household chores? She just sits in front of the computer all the time, and that's not work. Forex is gambling. They started to say such things like that. Of course, they don't say this directly to me, but they seem to be nagging Eric about it. Since Eric no longer has to pay rent or living expenses and can spend his entire salary at his own discretion, he has become more flamboyant in his clothing styles. He always only wears a custom-made suit nowadays. He only carries high-brand bags and wears high-brand shoes. My husband, who loves fashion, was able to spend money on fashion and seemed quite happy about it and had no complaint. So he was protecting me against my parents-in-law's complaints regarding the work of FX trading. But recently, Eric's attitude has changed.
Hey, Amy, you're always just in front of the computer and you don't wear any makeup and only wear sweatshirts. Isn't that too plain, boring, and horrible?
Do I really need to put on makeup and get dressed up when I am just staying at home, not going out?
That may be fine for you, but it's not good enough for me.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by not good enough for you? Are you saying that just because I am not dressing up, I am not good enough for you?
That is right. Don't you ever want to dress up for me to be more attracted to you?
Attracted to you? What are you talking about? I need to dress up for you to be attracted to me? Since that conversation, Eric, my husband, started complaining about me with Nicholas and Julia. One day after dinner, I was about to go to the bathroom when I heard this conversation coming from the living room. Amy, what is always up with her? She makes fun of us, doesn't she? She always makes us feel bad.
That's right. That wife of yours is making fun of us. She thinks we're so poor because we were living in municipal housing.
Yes, I feel that way too from her. And the fact that she doesn't do any of the household chores is her way of saying, I'm different from you.
She is just gambling to make money. And she's just so bossy about it. Anyone can do FX trading. Even Amy just studied a little on her own and soon started earning $80,000 every month. I can do it too.
You're right, Eric. You can do it too. I don't like how she's bossy and arrogant when she's just making money by gambling and not working hard for it. Anyone can do what she is doing.
Anyways, she's not even cute at all. I always wonder who she thinks she is.
I was working from home, but it was Eric and I's daily routine to have breakfast together before Eric left for work. Eric still works at the same company we used to work with, so he comes home pretty late. Therefore, we should have mutually valued having breakfast together as a time for the two of us, but my husband began to avoid it and would go to work without eating, saying,
I'll just eat breakfast on the way.
Seeing Eric in such manner, Julia said, Eric is getting tired of you because you don't even fulfill your duties as a wife. That's what you get, Amy. She said this sarcastically. What do you mean by duties as a wife, Julia? If you're talking about the household chores, hasn't Emanuela done it perfectly? Nowadays, what you so-called duties as a wife is so outdated. Outdated? We cherish the good old customs at our family. Your grandmother-in-law used to discipline me a lot. What do you mean by disciplined? Isn't it enough if the household chores are done without that? I'm paying her enough for it. Do you think this is about the money? Do you think that if you bring up the subject of money, I will shut up? Just because you are paying for all our living expenses all the time, you shouldn't be bossy and arrogant about it. Julia, who said this to me, seems to be spending a lot of money socializing with people her own age in the apartment building since they no longer have to pay for their own living expenses. And I sometimes see her going out with a number of expensive high-end brand bags that she seems to have bought. Nicholas also devotes all of his pension to his hobby of golf, and he seems to have bought new golf clubs and has a golf bag at his front door. I am the one who is covering and paying for the rent and all of their living expenses. What is up with these people? Even though I question them of their behavior and attitude towards me, my parents-in-law had nowhere else to live, so I just put up with them for now. About a month after Eric stopped eating breakfast with me, his number of going away business trips have increased. Eric said that he was in charge of starting up the new department of the company. He was thinking of importing LEDs from Korea, and his business trips to Korea increased. That weekend, too, he went out on a business trip to Korea. Since my husband was away that weekend, I went out for dinner with Lily, a friend of mine from school, at a fancy Italian restaurant. I had been to this restaurant with Eric before, and there I saw Eric, who was supposed to be on a business trip to Korea. Lily and I were having lunch on the terrace, drinking wine in the afternoon, and in a good mood, when Lily said, "Hey, Amy, isn't that your husband, Eric?" When I turned around and looked inside the restaurant, I saw a woman and my husband leaving the restaurant. Oh, wait, maybe I have mistaken. That is not Eric, right? Because he is supposed to be on his business trip to Korea, right? Lily was trying to cheer me up, but it was obviously my husband, Eric. Every time Eric says that he was going on a business trip to Korea, which meant that he was spending the weekend with another woman. The woman who was with him was a petite, cute-looking woman who appeared to be in her early 20s, much younger than Eric, who is 37 years old. I see. Then I recalled that one time Eric said to me, "Don't you want me to be attracted to you?" I believe Eric says something like that. It seemed certain that my husband was definitely cheating on me. So the next day, Monday, I immediately requested an affair investigation by a professional investigator. Recently, I have been receiving more and more packages addressed to Julia at home as well. "Julia, did you buy something again?" "Be quiet, Amy. Do I need your permission to buy anything?" "No, that's not what I am saying." Recently, Julia seems to be addicted to shopping on the internet, buying high-end brand bags and jewelries. I wondered and worried for Julia because there are many fake high-end brand bags which are sold on the internet. But then I was right. During the day when Eric is gone for work, Julia came into the room where I am working and said, "Hey, Amy, I'd like you to take a look at something." "What is it?" "Just come here." I had no choice but to follow her. And there in the living room, she was opening a package that had just been delivered. I bought 5 bags. They were cheap as a bundle, so I bought them. When I opened the package, they seemed to be fake. "Julia, you should be very careful of buying things on internet because there is a high chance that it might be fake, especially the high-end brand bags and jewelries." I wondered how much Julia had paid for the bags, even though they obviously looked fake and cheap. "What should I do with these 5 bags?" "First, I think you should contact the place you bought it from and see if they have a return policy." After our conversation, Julia tried to contact the place where she bought it, but she couldn't find a phone number or any contact address, and when she finally found one, she tried calling it, but was informed that the number was not in use. For 5 fake bags, Julia has paid a total of $5,000. The mail order site was nicely done and did not look like a scam site at first glance. However, the high-end brand bags were listed at a very unreasonable low price. Julia paid for the bags by bank transfer, and there was no way to stop it with her credit card company, and the cooling-off period policy was well stated as per the rules, so that she was not eligible for a cooling-off period. Julia, you have to be careful for fakes when you're buying high-end brand goods on internet. If the price is unusually low, there is a high possibility that it is a fake, no matter what you think. You have to really think it through about buying it and not jump on it just because it's so cheap. Don't make it sound like I don't know what I was doing, Amy. No, it's not that. It's just, you just wasted money. It's a waste of money to pay $5,000 for a fake. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Since talking didn't seem to help, I went back to my room and continued working. After dinner on Sunday, Nicholas suddenly told me to stop doing FX trading. The previous Saturday, Nicholas went golfing with a friend from his former workplace, where he heard about Forex trading and said, "I heard that Forex trading is a scam."
Amy, are you making money by scamming people?
What?
How to make money with FX trading. We will not let you lose your money. That's what they would say to scam out money, which I heard from my friend. I heard that what you're doing is also a scam, Amy.
No, I'm not making or offering or luring people to invest in anything.
I see you using social networking. I heard that's what scammer uses to scam people.
No, I'm just doing a blog for people who are interested in Forex, and I'm trying to be helpful. There's no element of scamming at all.
You think you can fool me as much as you want just because I don't know anything about computers at all.
No, so I'm not fooling nor scamming you.
Dad thinks that you are scamming because you make it look so easy for you to make the money, Amy.
It's not easy money, Eric. I told you about this several times now. It's not that easy.
You just studied it a little and then you're making a lot of money out of it. It must be easy. Meanwhile, I'm at work, busting my ass and working very hard to start the new department at the company.
What? Eric, I thought you were supporting me with the FX trading. Do you want me to stop doing FX trading? If I do that, what will happen to the payments? We won't be able to even afford the rent.
I can pay the rent myself.
Since I'm the full-time FX trader, Eric and his family was able to live the lifestyle they are living right now. But my in-laws seemed not to be thankful of that fact and just complained and fussed about me being a FX trader. The next day, I received the results of the investigation regarding Eric's infidelity from the investigator which I previously hired. He was definitely cheating on me. My husband was having an affair with a 25-year-old woman who is 12 years younger than him. I had never met the other woman, as she was one of the co-workers at the company and had joined the company after I left. It seems that this other woman was on the several business trips to Korea with Eric. I had been contemplating for a few days after receiving the investigation results. How should I say this to Eric? This will mean a divorce. That same day, Emanuela came and cooked dinner for us, and just as she was leaving, Julia started to speak. Amy, I had a conversation with Nicholas, Eric, and I, just the three of us, and we don't like everything about you. We will just live on our own, and I want you to leave. Eric had not yet returned from work. We don't want to be supported by the money you made from your scams.
I don't like the way you act like you know everything. We have talked this over with Eric and decided. Amy, I'm going to ask you to leave.
I had a feeling that this was just the right thing to do. Fine then. The fact that my husband was not even here showed that he no longer had any feelings for me at all, and there was rather no reason for me to take care of these people's lives from the very beginning. I packed my bags that day and moved to a hotel for now. The divorce was finalized shortly after that. Since I had found out that my husband was cheating on me while our marriage, I was able to file him for alimony. I immediately rented a one-bedroom apartment that was suitable for one person and moved into it. I changed the name of the apartment lease where I lived with Eric's to him. One day, about 4 months later, I received a call from Eric, my husband. He said he wanted to talk to me. He said he would come to my current apartment to talk to me. As I was waiting, Nicholas and Julia also came with Eric. I had a very bad feeling about this.
Amy, we are very sorry. We apologize for our horrible behavior to you. Please, live with us again.
Eric said these words with apologetic manner. Nicholas and Julia saw Eric and hurriedly started apologizing also. What? What in the world? What is this? Eric, who was looking down, started to say,
"We can't afford to pay $40,000 rent and we are about to be evicted. Even if we get evicted, we have nowhere to go. We are in real trouble, so Amy, please help us."
What on earth are you saying? Eric explained. Right after I left the apartment, Eric's new department of importing and selling LEDs, the imported special form of LED from a Korean manufacturer to be used in factories and hospitals, turned out to be defective product. The factory that delivered the LED lamps were informed by the customers that the socket part of the LED lamps had come off, and the bulb part was about to fall off, making the delivered LED very dangerous and unusable, and they had to be all recalled and returned. So, Eric contacted the Korean manufacturer, but since he didn't speak Korean well to begin with, he didn't know exactly what the contract was, and he couldn't return the products, resulting in a pile of defective inventory, and the new department was a total failure. Eric was fired from the company. Not smart of Eric to result in such way. Then Eric brought a computer from his small savings to become a full-time forex trader, but he failed miserably by trading at high prices without even studying. In no time at all, his small savings ran out. Nicholas and Julia had some savings, but Nicholas tried to use it to invest in stocks to make some profit. But he failed badly because he tried to sell the stocks at the wrong time. Eric and his parents couldn't pay the rent and had no money to even move out of the apartment, so Eric came to me to beg and apologize. We are already divorced, Eric.
Yes, I know, but help us, please.
What happened to your pretty cute girlfriend who is 12 years younger than you?
When I got fired from my job, I couldn't get in touch with her anymore.
Yeah, why would someone go out with a guy who got fired from his job?
Amy, you're all I have left, so let's get married again. Let's get remarried and have another chance with me.
That's right, Amy. We realized that we were the one who was wrong. I am sorry, and this is from the bottom of our heart.
Amy, I apologize for what has happened. I misunderstood you. I'm sorry for calling you a scammer without knowing what forex trading is. I am very sorry. Amy, I am really sorry. So please, give me one more chance and let's start over.
No way, Eric.
Amy, don't say that. I'm sorry.
I'll never cheat on you ever again. That's right, Amy. Eric will never cheat on you ever again.
Yes, let's all be a family again and live together.
No way in hell I would do such a thing. If you persist any longer, I will call the police on you. Eric and his parents were still trying to talk me in, but When I repeatedly said I would call the police, they finally left. I just cannot believe them. My ex-husband called me twice after that conversation to ask me to get back together with him, but I of course refused. I don't know what happened to Eric, Nicholas, and Julia. I don't even want to know anymore or care about them. But after being home alone all the time working as a trader, I began to think that it was time for me to start dating again. When I talked to my friend Lily about it, she said she would introduce me to someone. I am going to meet up with Lily and her guy friend tomorrow. I am very much looking forward to it and my new beginning.